Welcome back, students. Okay, students, today we will be continuing with our NV lesson chapter 7. So, we have already almost done the 3 parts of that lesson. Now, we will continue further. So, students, on your screen you have this paragraph. Just open your books. I hope you are ready with your books. Okay, so students, open that chapter. Now I'm just reading it, pay attention. How kindly and generously Amy criticized the artistic parts of the story. How Beth got excited and skipped and sang with joy. How proud Mrs. March was when she knew it. How Jo laughed with tears in her eyes. Now these are all the expressions. Jo and her sisters, they were so happy in knowing that their sister had written a story and it has been published in the newspaper. This is all the emotions that is coming out. Okay, so let us check out the questions. Find the past tense of the words know and sing. So here in this paragraph you have these words. First line you have there, I don't think so we have any word past tense of word know and sing. Next line, okay, here we got one sang, so we got the past tense of sing is sang, and the next line when she knew it. Okay, so we got both the words sang and knew. So the answer knew and sang are the past tense of the words know and sing. Next, how did Amy criticize the artistic parts of the story? Now in the first line itself of that paragraph, see how kindly and generously Amy criticized the artistic part of the story. So how will you frame the answer? Amy criticized the artistic parts of the story kindly and generously. Amy criticized the artistic parts of the story kindly and generously. So students, let us move ahead. Now we will come to the next. Tell us about it. When did it come? How much did you get for it? What will father say? Won't Laurie laugh? Cried the family, all in one breath, as they gathered around Jo. I'll tell you everything, said Jo. Now, one by one, they were questioning Jo with excitement. What happened? How it is? Tell us more about it. And how much did you get? And all that. They were so curious to find out. So the last line, Jo is saying, "I'll tell you everything." Let's go further. Having told how she disposed of the tales, Jo added, and when I went to get my answers, the man said he liked them both but didn't pay beginners. He only lets them print in his paper. Today this was sent to me and Laurie caught me with it and insisted on seeing it. So I let him, and he said it was good and I shall write more, and he is going to get the next paid form, and I'm so happy, for this time I may be able to support myself and help the girls. Now she is describing about how she wrote the story and how she went to that office and how the person spoke to her. All this is mentioned in this particular paragraph. So let us move ahead. Let us continue. Jo's breath gave out here, and as she was talking so fast that she was literally breathless while talking. Jo's breath gave out here, and wrapping her head in the paper, she gifted her little story with a few natural tears. Out of happiness, she was literally crying. For to be independent, and earn the praise of those she loved were the dearest wishes of her heart, and this seemed to be the first step towards that happy end. She was so happy that she has made her dear ones proud, and they were also proud of her, and they were praising her endlessly. So and like she was independent, and she was really happy about her achievement, and so she thought that this is her first step. Now she has miles to go. So this is her the last look at the last line, and this seemed to be the first step towards that happy end. So students, we have finished this chapter. Now let us find some of these questions. Write the positive form of the adjective dearest. Now you have learnt this degree, positive form, comparative form, superlative form. So now here the question is, write the positive form of the adjective dearest. So the answer is obviously dear, and it is there in the dearest, that second last line, the word dearest is there, and the question asked was write the positive form. The answer for that is dear. So next, let us find some more. Now here we come to, you go to page number 61. Behind the text there is an exercise. Choose the correct meanings of the highlighted idioms. Now idioms, I'm talking about idioms. I'll explain to you what are idioms. An idiom is a common phrase. Phrase means words, it's like 2-3 words together. When they are put, we call it as a phrase. So it's a common phrase which means something different from the literal meaning, but it can be understood because of its regular use. Like for example, as cool, when you say, you must have heard this phrase, as cool as a cucumber. Now you will mention somebody, he is as cool as a cucumber. Maybe his result tomorrow evening, his result is going to be declared, but he is as cool as a cucumber. Now you will wonder why is this situation compared to a vegetable as cold vegetable or something like that. But the phrase means that way. Okay, this phrase you will understand it only with the regular use of those phrases. Like I'll give you some examples. He's as cool as a cucumber. I have told you what now. I told you, you will, in case if you are not used to using that particular term, you will wonder why teacher is saying as cool as a cucumber. But as you use the words continuously, you know as cool as a cucumber means, teacher means to say that he's really not scared of his result or any situation. He's very cool and calm. That means he's just calm. Now add one more, I will give you. Add fuel to the fire. Like you must have heard this word, add fuel to the fire means it will be already there are so many problems going on, and somebody is telling something, and more problems you are creating for that situation. So you say, please don't add fuel to the fire. So add fuel to the fire is also an idiom. Then as easy as ABC. Sometimes while talking we say it is very simple, it is as easy as ABC. You all know ABC, so it is very simple. This sum is very simple. It is as easy as ABC. So these particular words, like phrases, they are called as idioms. So students, in your textbook, behind the text, page number 61, there is an exercise. Choose the correct meanings of the highlighted idioms. Now just have a look at that, just read it. We have to tighten our belts if we want to go on that trip this year. Now this is the sentence given, and tighten our belts is highlighted in red. Okay, now there are two options given. You have to choose the correct option which will mean that phrase tighten our belts. Now, be more careful with money, move buckles over a notch. So now just read the sentence again. We have to tighten our belts if we want to go on that trip this year. Means in case you want to plan out that trip, you have to save money. Okay, so the correct option has to be option A, be more careful with money. Okay, now we move ahead. We come to the next one. Looking for something in Brinda's messy room is like searching for a needle in a haystack. Okay, means you understood. Actually, by reading the sentence, we get some clue out of it. Looking for something in Brinda's messy. That word messy itself gives a clue. Means her room is so untidy that if you want to search something, it is like searching for a needle in the haystack. You know, a haystack, dry grass kept in the villages. In the villages mostly you find that. If a needle falls in there, will you be able to find it? No. So it is compared like a needle in the haystack. So let us check out the options. Something sharp and pointy. B, something hard to find. So the correct answer is something hard to find. Option B. You can also take it, students. Use your pencil when you're ticking in your textbook. We will move ahead. We come to the next one. Luka Modric scored the winning goal at the 11th hour. There was a game going on. Everybody were badly looking forward for a goal, and this player, he scored the goal at the 11th hour. Means at the just nearing the end point of that game. The game is about to end. At that moment, he scored the winning goal. So the option has to be A, at 11 o'clock, B, at the last possible moment. So the option here should be correct option, which will mean that at the 11th hour is at the last possible moment. Next, here we have this. The politician's policies might be corrupt, but she certainly has a gift of the gab. Now, let us find out gift of the gab. Let us find out. A, the ability to speak well. B, the habit of talking endlessly. Now, what does this sentence mean? Politician's policies might be corrupt. He is a corrupt politician, but she certainly has the gift of the gab. Means she, through her speech, she wins the hearts of the people. So the answer is A, option A, the ability to speak well. Option A, ability to speak well. Let us move ahead. Fifth one. The ancestral house has become the bone of contention among the siblings. Ancestral home means your property which belongs to one's father's which has come through ancestors, your ancestors' house. Okay, that has come to your father. Then from father it may come to you. That is the house. Ancestral house has become the bone of contention among the siblings. Bone of contention. Now, A, unifying factor. B, cause of quarrel. Now here, ancestral house has become the bone of contention among the siblings means everything was going well, but when it came to the ancestral house, the siblings started arguing and fighting amongst each other that I want the house. The brother is saying I want the house. So what should be the correct option here? Cause of quarrel. So option B, cause of quarrel. Ancestral house has become the bone of contention among the siblings. Means it means option B, cause of quarrel. Now here we move ahead. Number 6, they were lifelong friends in spite of only meeting once in a blue moon. Now A, when you look at the options you will know. A, frequently. B, seldom. Seldom means very rarely. Frequently means very often, you keep on meeting. Now, they were lifelong friends in spite of meeting once in a blue moon. Now, once in a blue moon means they were very good, thick friends. But in spite of that, in spite of meeting once in a blue moon, maybe in a year they must be meeting once, or in 6 months they must be meeting once. So, once in a blue moon. That has nothing to do with moon or anything, but because we use that term often, we know that this means this. So option B, seldom, because seldom means rarely. So they were lifelong friends in spite of only meeting once in a blue moon. The correct option here is B, option B, seldom. Okay students, have you done those? Fine. Now, okay students, now we have finished with the chapter. Now let's find out whether we will be able to answer some of the questions. So here you have a short recap. Question 1, what did Joe do after finishing writing? Now this was right from the beginning. First part we had, the second part we started with the lesson. So just recollect what exactly Joe do after finishing writing. When you read the text, you will get the answer. I have framed the answer for you here. Once Joe had finished writing, she revised her story, then tied up the manuscript in a red ribbon and went downstairs. If you remember, she had finished and she was thinking now what to do, and then she collected, then she just went through, she made some corrections, you remember, in the first paragraph itself, and then she took a red ribbon and she tied it up, and then she went downstairs. So here you have the answer. Once Joe had finished writing, she revised her story, then tied up the manuscript in a red ribbon and went downstairs. So now students, we move on to the next question on your screen. How many sisters did Joe have? Joe had 3 sisters. Can you recollect the names? Yes, one Beth, then Meg and Emmy. Okay, so Joe had 3 sisters. Now here I am giving you a small activity for you. You can make a scrapbook that will comprise of all the pictures relating to your family, your hobbies, whatever hobbies you like. Maybe you collect some articles, those pictures you can paste. Then your art and craft work, whatever you have done, maybe you have got some prizes also in that particular activity. All those pics, you can collect those pics and you can make a scrapbook. So here this is an activity for you. Make a scrapbook that will comprise of all the pictures relating to your family, your hobbies, and the art and craft work that you have done so far. Okay, so I'm sure you will enjoy this, doing this, making a scrapbook of your own on your own, and try to make it more interesting, decorative. Okay, so I'm sure students, you have enjoyed reading this chapter. It was a very interesting chapter. Now keep watching the videos again and again. This lesson comprises of 4 parts. So from the part 1, you are supposed to read. We had learned lot of new words. We had learned to frame sentences, and many things we have learned in this chapter. Okay, so I am sure you found this chapter very interesting. I will be sending you the notes through the PDF, and please complete those notes in your classwork book. Okay, so till we meet in the next class, students, have a nice day.